Welcome to the Yukon's presentation, Teaching in the North. Greetings from the Yukon. Think west, think north. Imagine traveling to a land of huge mountains, lakes and rivers, endless boreal forest, and then landing in Whitehorse, our largest urban center, positioned on the mighty Yukon River on the traditional territory of the Kwanlin-Dun First Nation and the Tahong-Quechin Council. We are over 1,000 miles from Dawson Creek in northern BC, traveling up the Alaska Highway, built in a few short months by the Army Corps of Engineers in 1942 to help end World War II. We live an enriched life, the wilds of nature at our very doorstep, a thriving arts community for a population of 42,000 with multiple dance and theater companies, many visual and literary artists, and numerous permanent musical organizations, such as the Whitehorse Community Choir, the Whitehorse Concert Society, the Problematic Orchestra, the Whitehorse String Ensemble, the Fiddleheads, the All-City Band, to mention only a few. We have a state-of-the-art performance center, plus other smaller venues. Living in the North, one must be a jack of all trades, be able to handle any task with one's own resources, and be flexible at all points to accommodate our living environment and multicultural population. Join our panel of music teachers from YRMTA who will discuss the ins and outs of teaching in the North, reaching into small isolated communities, working with our local organizations, yet still adhering to musical standards in the South. Welcome. Now let's get started.
My name is Joyce Clausen. I live in Whitehorse, Yukon, and I'm a piano teacher here. I've lived in the Yukon for 54 years. It's a long time. We came to the Yukon in 1967. My husband was offered a job as as a music teacher in the school system, and that's why we came north and planned to stay for about 2 or 3 years. Well, when we first moved here, there were just a few piano teachers in town. There were a few, and some very good ones too. But there wasn't a lot of just presentation where students could do things that were a goal-setting thing for them. And so what we did almost right from the beginning was start to organize a music festival. And which we started like within the first year that we were here, and the first year we had 1 day with 1 adjudicator, and that has grown now to be 10 days with 6 or 7 adjudicators, and so it has really developed, which is really a very supportive festival, because we work on the basis of a gold, silver, bronze standards rather than placing first, second, and third, and so on. It's healthy, it's educational, it's the students more compete with themselves rather than with other students, and I find they are supportive of each other. The teachers are supportive of each other, and I think the adjudicators love to come here because it is a healthy festival. We've introduced concerto classes, which weren't there at the start. We've introduced piano quartet classes, which were also new, and we have also introduced a collaborative playing class where pianists play together with violinists or vocalists. So I think we've always been open to adding classes. We have composition classes. Over the years, if somebody has an idea, it gets added. And that's one of the healthy things about our festival as well. It has been a growing thing that has suited our community. Our students here have many opportunities to do things. For instance, again, back to the festival, most of our students play in the festival. We don't just have the very, very top ones play. Most studios put in pretty much all of their students. And that is a goal-setting thing for everyone. and it improves everyone's playing because they play to a higher standard if they have something to just to aspire to. Then just a couple of years ago, we had the 50th anniversary of our Rotary Music Festival and invited students who had been award winners and who have made music their career. Our former students that came back from as far away as Toronto, as Princeton, as Nebraska, as Vancouver, they were just from all over Canada and also the United States. One of the things that is so very wonderful in the Yukon is that the music teachers have a great camaraderie. And I think that keeps some of our own flavor as well, because we get together, we play collaboratively together, which has been one of the most exciting things I think that we could do. We have opportunities here. I feel I've had opportunities that I have not had, that I might not have had in another city. So just performance opportunities. And what I love is that we have a healthy, fostering relationship among the teachers. It isn't confrontational, it isn't competitive, and I think that's maybe a northern thing. Maybe that's one of the things we've kind of kept in a way small townish to have that relationship. I feel that living here where we don't have a university with a music program, it has been a challenge to not have someone where I can send my students to just have that extra lesson. And it has challenged me to keep my education up so that I feel like I'm constantly learning. I have to constantly be learning so I can give that back to my students.
My name is Ellen Thompson and I'm the president of YRMTA. I'm a born and raised Yukoner and I've been teaching piano and voice up here for 10 years, close to be. I had amazing teachers growing up here. I started piano around 4 years old and I actually had orchestral work training with Annie and my mother, but even before that. So when I started piano, I was encouraged to take violin lessons and I had done the Suzuki method through that, and I think that had really taught me the parent-teacher student relationship and how important that is. So that's something I still use today through all my RCM teaching as well. I was very lucky to be able to do all my musical education up here through my advanced stuff through Joyce and Henry class, and they took me through my ARCT and piano performance, as well as all my theories and history. And I think that's something that I'm very grateful for, is I never had to, I was still working on my ARCT while I was in high school, and I never had to go anywhere for that. I mean, I had a teacher in BC that helped just before exams, but other than that, everything was down here in Whitehorse, Yukon, and I think we're very lucky to have that. The attraction of staying in the Yukon, I love the outdoors. I love camping and all that stuff, and I know a lot of my students do as well. And there's such a need for teaching up here. I have a full studio, so yeah, I don't think the need for teaching up here is going to slow down anytime soon. There's such a great network of teachers up here, and everybody's so friendly with each other. We get together for barbecues. And there's not the competitiveness that I'm sure there is in bigger city centers. So if we have a student that's not quite clicking with us, or okay, you are doing more of the jazz route, we are more than happy to send them to another teacher. I mean, because there is such a shortage of teachers up here, we don't have a problem sharing or sending another student to a teacher for a few lessons to get some help with certain things. Yeah, once again with YRMTA, it's been great having that network there, and also branching out into CFMTA and going to 2 conferences now and learning so much from those conferences like these, and just having that network of teachers around.
My name is Keitha Clark, and I've been teaching violin in the Yukon for 15 years. I've been very lucky to work with traditional fiddlers from across the territory, and I've spent time in Old Crow, which is a fly-in fishing community in northern Yukon. And the ability to be able to go to Old Crow and see firsthand what the music sounds like when it's brought to life on the dance floor, and to see people moving to those tunes makes it all make sense. So you can spend hours talking about adding rhythms or tempo or how you do short bow strokes, but until you go and see it lived on the dance floor, it doesn't come to life. And then all of a sudden you understand all those things just inherently by being there. Playing the violin and playing the fiddle style specifically has opened so many doors for me in the Yukon to different communities. You can go to a community and be able to play an old tune that an elder will remember from their childhood, and that opens doors to relationships that you wouldn't necessarily have. And so being able to use music as a way to connect with people from a wide range of backgrounds who may have lived a very different life than you, but to be able to go into a community and be welcomed in that way is a really special thing. It's something I really appreciate about being a musician and being a fiddle player specifically. We're very lucky in the Yukon that no matter where you live, the wilderness is on your doorstep. And that sense of vastness and space influences and infiltrates everything we do as teachers and creators. Not only in that sense of spaciousness that we include in our music, but that sense of openness to new ideas and collaborations.
My name is Danette Reedman, and I'm a Suzuki guitar teacher. I have been teaching Suzuki guitar in Whitehorse since about 2004. When I first started teaching Suzuki guitar, I had some challenges breaking new ground. But I feel that there were challenges that I would have faced anywhere I would have tried to open a Suzuki guitar program throughout Canada. Suzuki guitar in general is emerging, I think, in North America, and in 2004 it was certainly emerging, and throughout Canada at the time there was only a handful of registered Suzuki guitar teachers. Our northern culture is quite eclectic, very arts and music supportive, but in many ways still isolated. So one of the things that I thought about and how I grew up in a conservatory environment down south, I wanted to replicate some of those experiences for my students. So I didn't want my students to feel as isolated with an already non-popular style of teaching a classical method on guitar. I wanted my students to feel more connected with the larger community, with Canada, with the world. And I think it raises the bar of performance for myself as a teacher, but also for the students to see what else is going on outside of our community. I also had the opportunity to be a presenter of the local classical music series called Whitehorse Concerts for a few years, and that also opened up the doors to international, high-class, Juno and Grammy Award-winning artists. Having the Los Angeles Guitar Quartet work with some of my students in a workshop, and for them to be able to, shake their hands and have that one-on-one discussion, I think I can't say how huge to me that was as a teacher and for my students in terms of inspiring them, giving them that level of connection to famous world-class artists. One of the most satisfying things is seeing students apply what they learn in music lessons. They're striving for excellence, practice regimes, new ways of learning, that watching these students apply it to different aspects of their life in other, as they prepare for university, let's say, or just in general, how they would apply these skills, practice skills that they learn in music lessons to other skills like learning math.
name is Barbara Barshin. I live in Mayo, Yukon, which is about a 5-hour drive north of Whitehorse, and I've been teaching on and off since 1986.
Is Mayo a very isolated community?
Yes, it is about a 5-hour drive away from Whitehorse, and there are only about 450 people there. So there's limited services and just limited everything. So it is pretty isolated. Okay, so the main challenge that I find is that there doesn't seem to be that peer culture that you find in other, like it's in bigger cities, even in Whitehorse, or especially in Toronto where I'm from, where kids have other groups of kids that are doing the same thing, and it's kind of a norm to be taking piano lessons, and the expected time to practice and the recitals and all of that is a thing. But in Mayo, that doesn't exist. So I have them play at any public events, like we have community dinners, or say the Christmas concert at the school, and there's an annual arts festival on July 1st where any of my students are and any local musicians are welcome to perform and encouraged to perform. So pre-COVID there were lots of opportunities, but this year of course there hasn't been anything really for them to do like that. Well, it really makes me feel part of a group, and even though I don't see people that often in the association, it's I can ask questions. I send emails, and then if I have anything that I need, like if one of my students is looking for a piano or looking to sell one, then I can put it to the group, and that's really, really helpful. And then, like I mentioned, the workshops are great, and I really appreciate that. The benefit of becoming a teacher, it makes me feel like I have a special place in my community, and I'm helping kids and adults, I have adult students too, pursue something that they might not have otherwise had a chance, especially in a place the size of Mayo, that if I wasn't doing it, then it might not have happened.
Hi, I'm Barbara Chamberlain. I teach voice and piano, and I run the choir here. I love coffee, I love tea, I love the Java Jive, loves me. I pick my subjects about availability of music and what I think people in the choir want to sing. And we've had a Scottish concert, and then we'll have a round the world concert. Even for Christmas, we actually did a Southern Tushone translation of Do You Hear What I Hear? So we were able to do stuff like that, which is really, really wonderful. Because we have lots of French, now we have lots of Filipino. I have a Filipino song too. And I really do go out of my way to find these, and there's really good arrangements and songs in most languages that are accessible up here. Well, I think when you look at the style versus the language, that we can do all these styles, lots of different styles. We've done Led Zeppelin, we've done island music, everything has a different feel to it, a different quality, and I think it feeds your soul for one thing, and I think it also broadens people's minds to, oh, wow, I could do this because it wasn't that hard.
We have a small population and a large arts funding per capita, and the arts are supported, respected, and generally well attended. Our children are comfortable performing in the Yukon Arts Centre, and indeed, often so relaxed in the middle of a sporting event that I've seen them come on stage in their rubber boots. We have in our formal education system several segments that add to our circumstances. The All-City Band, essentially a 3 high school band program, also includes adult players, increasing their capacity and showing how music is a lifelong skill. The MAD program, Music, Arts and Drama, is a full-time high school program that is greatly sought after and has been established for over 20 years. Programs like this feed into our arts programming in theatre, dance, and music. Whitehorse Concerts, an organization that brings artists to the Yukon to perform, also supports local artists in performing and shares their artists with schools and provides workshops for music teachers. The Artists in the School program funds arts of every kind to have meaningful experience and creations with children in schools. We are rich in resources and collaborations. I think of a project done with songwriting in rural schools that was recorded by the student classes that created them. These songs were a great reflection of our environment. One I can think of called Little Brown Bat. Another one of these songs, Yukon l'hiver, was made into a choral arrangement for the Whitehorse Community Choir. We adapt to our students' needs with references to the land we live on. Rhythm names reflect our local animals. For example, a snowshoe hare is ti-ti-ta, snowshoe hare. And we adapt lots of our animal names, especially for small children. We often use descriptive terms like make your loud like a running moose. Somehow our events reflect the ease with which we live our life attached to nature and its rhythms. Because we are small and less formal, we tend to be welcoming, experimental, and more accepting. It is easier to join forces and experiment with new ideas. We have done so many projects, too numerous to mention, but all a reflection of living where people with ideas can make their dreams come true.
My name is Emma and I will be introducing the next performer, Logan, and he will be playing piece number 1 by me.
The piece you're about to hear was written by my student Emma Lynn, and it was her very first composition, and I was inspired to make a little improvisation that was based on it. The original piece goes like this.
Thank you for joining us in our presentation. The Yukon Music and Arts community is huge and diverse, and we are proud to share some of its beauty in both the environment and our community spirit towards the sharing of music. The Yukon Music Teachers Association started in the 1970s and existed as an active music educators association when they joined with CFMTA in 2011. That expansion led to many more opportunities for professional development and networking, and we are proud to be part of a greater whole nationwide. We are grateful to have had this occasion to share with you some of our ideas about living and teaching in the North and how the magic of living here influences our musical output.
Thank you.